Sangram here, excited to be part of this thing. And after the keynote from Henry and Dave, I feel like it's the right time to jump into the future of go-to-market, because a lot of the mega trends and mega things that they talked about is going to directly align with, well, what are you going to do next, especially in the world of go-to-market. So let me share with you the 7 predictions that we have as go-to-market research and advisory firm around go-to-market. And we have been writing about this, and there will be a link posted a little bit later in the presentation. So you don't just go right now, just give me a few minutes until you go through this. But I'm going to go rapid fire these 7 predictions, and I'm going to give you insight into it. So if you have a pen and paper, write it down so that you can keep along with it. And that's why I didn't want to use any slides. I want you to really soak in and think about it. And as I share this, hopefully you can start thinking about how does that apply to your organization. Because here's the fact: 82% of the companies have shared that their entire sales velocity pipeline has dipped over quarter, year over year. And we keep looking at that from the go-to-market benchmark and research reports that we write. But then there's something new that's happening. There's some new interesting opportunities that are coming up, and we sometimes seems to not focus on them. We keep sometimes focus on the things that are not working. But I'm here to share with you the 7 different areas where hopefully you can start seeing a glimmer of hope around go-to-market and where the market is moving. And maybe you get a chance to start dip into it earlier than your competitors, and the rest of the market really wakes up and becomes a status quo after that. So number one, let me share with you that the number 1 prediction that we have is that partnership is going to drive way more sales, bigger deals, bigger opportunities in the companies than your traditional sales teams. Let me say that again. Partnerships is going to drive a lot more revenue for your organization than your traditional sales team. Now, here's why. The way buyers are buying right now is we all know, we are all buyers too. So this is not new. We're not talking about an alien on a planet. We're just talking about ourselves. We all know our buying habits have changed. But what's even different about all of this is that people already know what they want to buy and how they want to go about it. And partnerships is a better way to create that model. Now, a lot of people don't really understand partnerships. And typically in most organizations, partnership is almost a third wheel. Nobody's really thinking about it. They don't really have budget. People think these are long sales cycles. Something might come out of it. And there is no real thought and budget put around it. We have identified in the research 5 different types of partnerships that companies should think about. And most companies that we in our research find successful have at least 2 or 3. So here are the 5 types. And I'm just going to look at my research note and you'll get that in a few minutes. It's channel-led, ecosystem-led, referral, affiliate, and reseller. So those are the 5 different types of marketing ways for the partnerships. Now, here is another area that you want to look at. When we did the research, we find out that the companies who do partner-led growth, and again, I want to be very clear about it. Partner-led meaning doesn't mean that partnership is the only go-to-market motion you're focused on, but has partner-led as a strategic go-to-market motion. They're having success over 114%. And we were shocked at looking at these numbers because we were thinking about, well, the market is slowing down. 82% of the companies are showing less velocity in sales. How is it that partnerships are showing 114% growth? Well, the issue there is that most companies don't have it. Most companies have literally nobody looking at the numbers in it. And when they look, they're shocked at it and they want to do more of it. So if you might want to consider in your organization and look at your go-to-market process and say, do we have partnerships as a strategic lever? All right, that's 1. Number 2, demand for integrated tools is going to go high. So if you're a vendor today who's selling technology, who's selling something as a software, as a company, as a service out there, what companies are looking for, what your buyers are really looking for is, show me something that is integrated with the existing tech stack we have. So for example, if you come out there today and say, I have the best-in-class solution for this, there was a time for that. Nobody cares about that. It's almost standing on a freeway saying that, hey, free car wash, but it's a freeway. So people are going fast. Nobody's stopping looking at your sign because that's not the place for you to be. So right now, the market is not going to be kind to people who have the best of the best solution and they're just on a freeway saying, we got the best solution. The market is going to reward companies who say, hey, we have a great solution, and guess what? It integrates with your existing tech stack of X, Y, and Z so that you can get a much higher value out of not only our tool, but also all the things that you already have. Now, that's the kind of language a CFO is going to be okay with, the CMO, CRO, CEO, all of them are going to be okay with. So the future, the future of go-to-market specifically, and if you're a vendor right now who's selling technologies, is going to be for companies who can show that integrated substrata within it so that you can say, we have a solution that's going to make everything better for you. So that's number two. Integration demand for that one is going to grow. So partnership is number one. Number two is integrated. Number three, this is very near and dear to me, is the land and expand motion. Now, most people understand that very differently. At least I did. Land and expand to me meant that, oh, I'm going to land a big whale and we're going to expand within it. We're going to close, let's say, Salesforce, one business unit, and we're going to expand within Salesforce. Well, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, let's say your sales team is supposed to close deals that are worth 100K. They're enterprise AE reps, and that's what their job is. They're going after enterprises and trying to sell 100K. The market is not in favor of going for big deals right now. So what do? Either the reps are going to be frustrated, and which is why the data suggests that there's a slow down on velocity because they're trying to close $100,000 deal when the market is allowing only for this much of money to be spent. The better way to do this, and some of these companies are starting to look at it, and our data suggests that they are reducing the cost of the first install. So for example, if you have a 100K product that's a platform, and you're saying, you know what, to get started early, we're going to reduce it to 20K, 25K, and we're going to get a lighter version of our product. We're going to just get in and help you get going. So all of a sudden, you might look at that and say, whoa, so you saying take the 100K product or a platform to 25? No. What I'm saying is take the 100K one, put it in 25K chunk, get in early so you increase the velocity of the deals that you can walk in. And once you're in, as you prove yourself over a period of the next year or two, you're going to get not only over 100K, but maybe 150K or more. And that's what NRR is all about. It's not about landing a 100K deal, take a 2-year time period to close it. And who knows, the people change and all of those things happen. So now you're back to square one, as opposed to get in early, getting at a smaller deal size, and then prove your mettle and then drive your business forward. That's a better way to get NRR, and that's great velocity. So land and expand, not with big whales, but with whales with smaller deals, is going to change the way your velocity works. So that's number three. So we talk partnership, demand for integrated solutions, land and expand. Number four, for most of you who know me, I've been in, I ran marketing at Pardot, was with Salesforce for years. I've co-founded Terminus and now Go-to-Market Partners, which is a research advisory firm. All along in my last 15 years, I have focused on inbound and outbound, right? Inbound and ABM. That's what I'm focused on. The market is not in favor of that right now. In some cases, it might be. Maybe your product leans itself into more of that. But our research shows that most successful companies have 3 or more go-to-market motions. And what are those go-to-market motions? We can drop the link now for the GTM Monday. We write a research note every Monday, and it is a whole slew of all the stuff I'm talking about in a lot more detail. There are 6 go-to-market motions that we need to think about. It's inbound, outbound, PLG, event-led. We already talked about partner-led and then community-led. The point of all of this is most companies struggle to move away from inbound and outbound because most founders and companies and even the VC or PE firms are only aware of these 2 ways of going to market. But guess what? Better companies, your buyers are looking for a better way to engage. And a lot of times they're going to engage in a community. Maybe that's where your buyers are. So go and build a community or sponsor a community or be part of that. Some of the partners we work with, we do events with them. It's called the Go-to-Market Made Simple Roadshow. We do a roadshow almost every single month in a different city because that's what the enterprise client of direct and above want to engage in. So that's what we do. So you got to find out how your customers are going to engage. And if they engage in a certain way, that's where you go and engage with them. not by hiring a bunch of salespeople, not by always hiring a content machine and saying, we're going to write 3 blogs, we're going to have 5 SDRs and 3 AEs. That model might work for some, but it's no longer going to be the model that is going to be blessed upon in 2024 and above, because that's not what the market desires. I literally install, I kid you not, an app to not have any calls on my call that comes in all like 9 or 10 times a day. I have all these calls. So the market has changed. The buyers have changed. You and I are buyers. We are not looking for another sales call. We're looking to be engaged. And the way we engage is much different now, not just based on inbound and outbound. So you got to think about more than one go-to-market motion. All right, number 5. This is probably going to hit home for some of you right now. Most of us, if you're in any company, as we service Intel, Zoom Info, because Henry was on the call before this, so they're a customer of ours, Honeywell, all the way to early stage companies. And what we find is every company, this is really interesting, every single company has these 2 things in common. Everyone has a smaller team, literally smaller team. It doesn't matter what kind of company you are. You have a smaller team than it was, and you have smaller budget. So when the teams are smaller and the budget is less, what do? You have you are trying to do all those things together, but the revenue numbers are still the same, if not more. So you have to hit higher targets with a smaller team. There is a gap there. How do you do that? The way we think about, and this is the 5th part, which is more and more companies are going to rely on fractional leaders. More and more companies are going to rely on fractional leaders. So at the strategic level, more companies are going to hire a fractional go-to-market leader, a fractional sales leader, a fractional marketing leader who ends up being there for 2 days a week, part of their strategic marketing plans, part of their strategic go-to-market. But beyond that, you're going to have a set of doers in the company who are going to just execute on that plan. So that's a big shift. None of us are aware or have built our careers in the last 20 years on that notion. We always valued the internal person. But companies are starting to look at this and saying, I don't know if I'm going to hire a 300K marketing or sales or go-to-market leader. Instead, I'll rather have somebody 2 days a week for 100K or 150K, and that person already is working in 5 other companies, so he's always going to be, he or she is always going to be smart about what's happening in the marketplace, use latest research around it. But at the executive level, I just need the input of what needs to be done. I need doers to do it. So I'm going to keep the team small, but then continue to expand my strategic go-to-market fractional group. So we're going to see more and more of that. That's a big shift that's going to happen and already happening in most companies because of how the budgets and the revenue numbers are. All right, number 6. This is probably your favorite, generative AI. What's happening with AI? We believe AI is going to only bring human creativity, and you probably have heard that before, but here is an example of that. I can sniff emails that are generated by AI. I can sniff articles that are generated by AI. I can sniff LinkedIn posts generated by AI. And when I say I mean you and I, the buyers. We can all see that. So the creativity is no longer left in those things, and people can literally see that. You can somehow, our brain has started to really see like, oh, that's clearly not authentic. That's clearly not real. That's clearly not something that I see volumes, but I don't see quality in it. So the original research, the original content, the original creativity is going to be incredibly rewarded in the marketplace. So whatever you're doing, you can use AI to create better update on the existing list, enrich the list. You can use AI for follow-ups. You can use AI for a whole bunch of things, and you should, absolutely should. But now is the opportunity to say, you know what? I'm glad I'm not doing that 30% of the work. I can now use AI to do that and spend more time on creativity. Last but not the least, and this is my personal favorite, I feel that in all the things I've worked on in the past 20 years, this is the part that has been so true. And this never changed. And it's one of those things that are irrefutable, and it's never going to change, which is the brand of a business and brand and authenticity of individuals is going to be at the all-time high. It's supreme right now. So if you can be a company and if you can be the voice of your organization or your category or your message, whatever tribe that you're trying to represent, and you can be authentic around it, you're going to have the most value. So in the research note that's dropped in the link over there, we wrote about each one of them. We talked about partnerships, demand, being for integrated solutions. We talked about fractionals, how AI and examples of that, the land and expand, how do you get started early on those companies. Inbound and outbound won't be enough. You have other 4 go-to-market motions to think about, and then AI and brand authenticity is going to be supreme. So all in all, what I want to end this conversation is with this quote. This is my favorite quote. It's something that I've felt and learned and have been on for a number of years, and I've seen that and say that all the time. And here it is: being intentional is more important than being brilliant. I want to hear this again. I want you to really dial in. Maybe you are a note taker like me. Take a note of this thing. This has helped me so much. And right now, as you hear all these different keynotes and things, it's going to be a lot of ideas. But here is what's going to be the most rewarding for you. Being intentional is more important than being brilliant. If you heard all 7 of my ideas really well, and you picked one of them and went all in on it, you'll be more successful in 2024 than you can even imagine. But if you took all 7 ideas and tried to do a little bit on everything, you probably will not do anything, and you may just fumble around. Pick one, take one of this, and go all in with it. Bring your team together, drive the organization forward, and the future go-to-market belongs to the one who are intentional. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the keynote.